but I think it happens all the time. I think I happen to love that because I tell my sons, success is like the best revenge. And to be in a place where you continue to succeed and you continue to do better and better and show up, that just irks your enemies.
Yeah.
It just irks them. And I love the fact that, once you start that journey of like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be better than you said I was. I'm going to do all the things that you say I can't. Once you get into it, it's really no longer even about that. It's about you having fun with it and sticking to it and just being about you versus about how it initially started. And then the reward of that is that you are continuing to improve and be successful in the process.
What the hell's going on out here?
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Fueled by Spite. As always, I'm your host, Dr. James Taylor. Joining me today, Miss Gisselle, new last name, Villarreal.
Yes.
What's going on?
Newly married.
Newly married. How new?
We just got married on National Chicken Finger Day. Or National
You're
Chicken
going to have to
Tender Day.
enlighten me on that particular day on the calendar.
It is National Chicken Finger Day or Chicken Tenders Day or something like that. We didn't know that until we actually set the date. We were like, well, that's cool because we'll always remember it. So July 27th was
July
the day we
27th.
actually got married. We've been together, house, kids, all that for 8 years.
National Chicken Finger Day.
National Chicken Finger Day. Yeah. I thought that's pretty good.
If that doesn't say love, I don't know what.
That's what I say. Like, come on now. Celebrate with chicken.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, real quick rundown, and I might screw up some of the titles, if you will, but
Sure.
Bodybuilder, figure competitor, wellness, health and wellness competitor. You've taken a lot of stages, taken home a lot of awards.
Yeah.
Business starter, business closer.
Yeah.
Again, I just mentioned I only know about your life what Zuckerberg shows me, and he's shown me you doing this.
Yeah.
A lot of different things for a long time.
Yeah.
What'd I miss?
What'd you miss? I think the only thing you missed was me transitioning from my studios, which were the F45 studios, if you're familiar with those, just hit, functional fitness, into working as an executive with another fitness company that I won't mention.
We don't have to tag them.
Yeah, not a supporter of them. But, I did leave that organization, just, I guess I'll be like nice about it, I guess. Like my morals and values and integrity no longer align with said company. So
how professional of you.
Yeah, wasn't that good? That was good. That was very wordy. But so myself and a couple of other executives have left the company. And so now I'm just, like we talked about, I'm just kind of figuring out what my next move is and what that looks like for myself and my family and all the fun things.
So how'd you get to the point where you're making these moves? Give me your origin story. Why are you sitting in the prestigious studio? No, it's ridiculous. Why are you here?
Well, because you asked me to.
That's fair.
I don't know what my origin story is because I go from like here to there. But I think if you were to like wrap up the origin story, it's just about me, doing good work and consistently learning and always looking for the next, place to be or what that trajectory looks like in any organization or place that I'm in. And then just creating relationships. So, every time I've made a move, it was because of a relationship that I had built in the past. And, those individuals had asked me to come on board or come with them to try to help assist them in whatever it is that they needed at the time and that I fit into that, role or into that organization. And that's really how I got there. I think just based on just building relationships and just having high integrity. I think that's what I'm probably mainly known for.
Not a bad thing to be known for.
Not a bad thing, right? Is my integrity and my leadership qualities and skills. And I don't mean that from the perspective of like, oh, I'm such a good leader. I think I have high empathy. And so when I go into an organization, I try to look at it, each individual as a human and what they individually need. And I look at it from a place of servitude and, what do you need from me? Like, how do you want to be led? What's going to make you feel comfortable? And my ultimate goal working anywhere or being in a leadership position is to make you want to get up every day and come to work. I'm
going to steer this real quick. That's interesting because in prepping for this, like I said, one of the reasons is basically that you're here is basically like Zuckerberg shows me the stuff that you post every now and then. You're one of the first reels that pops up. You're one of the first stories. And I say this in the best way possible. your posts always make me get off Instagram. They make me
Nice.
put my phone down,
Yeah.
right? Like it's not like this is stupid, this is ridiculous. Like it's like, fuck, I gotta get to work. Like it is. It's some of it's some of the most followable stuff, the most shareable stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I gotta put this, like I got shit to do. Like it
Yeah.
reminds me to get back to work, if you
That's
will.
a
It's
huge compliment.
it is. Well,
Thank
I
you.
was hoping so. That's where I was going for it. Not like, I'm gonna tell her she makes me get off the phone. Like,
You gave me the ick. No.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly, right.
Gotta get off. Yeah.
But it's almost, and there's a, and correct me if I don't know if this is intentional, but there seems to be an underlying amount of spite in it. There's
Always,
a lot
yeah.
of love it.
I am
Perfect.
fueled by spite.
Perfect, delightful.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, I've had some people who are like, I don't want to be on your show. I don't like the title. Okay, well, fine. It's not for you then. You're not my target audience.
100% fueled by spite.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
cool. I'm glad I'm picking up what you're laying down, because it is it. What did I write down here? You remind me that my life is about me.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of people, and kind of what you were just saying, I find that interesting, because there is so much of what we do that, man, we do for others.
Mhm.
Out of not that empathy is a bad thing, but
Right.
do me a favor, just kind of speak to that as far as reminding yourself about yourself.
Yeah, I think human beings are innately selfish, and I think that people are out there just trying to like fill the voids and get what they need. And I think a lot of times, if you are a sensitive person and you do pick up on those things, or if you have been through a lot in life and you want to make sure that other people don't go through those things, you tend to like take on everybody's problems. And like, if you're not in a good place, well, like, I'm going to sit next to you and I'm going to try to be in this valley with you. And that I absorb that, you know, and I think when you are like that, you do expect some level of like reciprocity from that. I think whether that's good or bad or right or wrong, I think you think, okay, well, you know, I'm kind of making deposits into this person and we're creating a bond, and I'm showing you the way that I love, and hope you're picking up on that by supporting and all those things. And hopefully when I'm in a valley, you know, you'll come and help grab me out when you're strong. And sometimes I think that doesn't happen. And so I think you go through these phases of grief where you're like, wow, that really sucked. Like, you know, nobody's here for me, or like, I'm not being supported in the way that I want to be supported. And I think a lot of people forget to go, you know, into self and think, well, like, nobody's going to come save your butt. You got to do it yourself. Nobody's going to come and pamper you. Nobody's going to powder your buns and wipe your tears and pat you on the back all the time. You have to really be that for yourself. You have to remind yourself that you are walking here alone. You are this, you know, being of light, or whatever you want to call it, that's here, and you have to give to yourself.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's kind of where that comes from. I'm like, well, I have to remind myself that, like, hey, like, I am valuable and I am worth it and I have really good things, and I'm not going to let somebody else, some like external entity, like take that from me. It's not right.
Going off of that, no, that was beautiful. That was fantastic, because it makes sense then that if we're looking inward, forcing ourselves that you would, I guess, be it have the hobby that you have, and you will in body. Real quick, what's the difference between bodybuilding and fitness competitor? And like, what I want to get the vocabulary right. Give me 10,000 foot view. What do you do? What did you do? What do you?
Sure. Yeah. So a bikini figure, a brief stint in women's physique, never hit the stage there, but tried to do that. I just don't think I can hold that much muscle. And I don't do it as well as the other girls do, those beautiful ladies. And then I moved to wellness, which is where I've done one show in wellness, and I did pretty well there. And I think I fought my body in all these other categories, and then I finally just accepted the shape that I am, and that it fits kind of more into the wellness category. And when I did that, it paid, you know, in rewards. And don't think nobody didn't tell me that, like, you know, coaches, judges, you know, but my stubborn, you know, self is like, I can do it because I can do anything. And I liked the look of some of those other categories, but that doesn't mean that I fit into that category. And I did my best to fit in there, and I did well. I did pretty well. You know, I held my own, I'll say. But it's just not, you know, it's a struggle. When I hit the stage in wellness, I felt healthy and I felt happy, and there wasn't a lot of tweaks that needed to be done to my body other than just tone, like I hate the word tone, I'm sorry, but, you know, other than just like shape it up, you know. and put it in position
Yeah.
to hit the stage. So I think that was kind of my aha moment there. But I've been
Better late than never.
yeah, 46 years old. But I've done most of them. Bodybuilding is like the end all. Like that's
Okay.
the hardcore, like do it all, every
Striations,
single muscle.
vascularity, all that. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually just had kind of off topic. I had a guy that was just in here. He actually just competed somewhere here in Grand Prairie or Arlington, got his pro card. He was in here the week of the competition looking like death warmed over,
Yeah.
but got his pro card.
Nice.
But where I was going with all this, because we're talking about, looking inward, taking time for ourselves, that is a sport in which you absolutely need to do that. So
Yeah.
like the time when you're getting ready to take the stage, maybe this is where I'm going with this. How do you tell people no to you because I'm saying yes to me?
So I think in the beginning, when I first started like really competing, I was maybe a little bit louder about it than I should have been. I don't say should because I don't like saying should, woulda, coulda, but I was more, I guess, direct with people about like I can't because I'm doing a show, so I can't do those things. I think as I matured in the sport, I guess, I just would like kind of separate myself. I just separate myself. So instead of me being negative to you and saying no, I just don't put myself in a position to be asked to do those things to start. And then secondly, you don't really have to say no. I went out to Chop Shop in Roanoke,
Okay.
and people were laughing because I pulled chicken out of my pocket. Like I still wanted to go. I still wanted to have fun. But I brought my chicken. It was in my pocket. I cut it up. It was there. I had to eat my chicken. So I just went in a corner and popped it in my mouth, and came back to my water and still enjoyed the social aspect of it.
Yeah.
I think you kind of learn to do those things, and you get better about being around like the smells of popcorn, which kills me every time, or like watching my kids eat candy because I'm a candy junkie. You don't really say no. You just kind of, it's not them.
Yeah.
It's not other people's issue or problem because that you're prepping. It's your choice.
True.
So you have to kind of make those adjustments. And one of the things that is a kind of a peeve of mine is I'm kind of known for being fairly happy on prep and staying pleasant because it's my choice. Like I chose to do this. Like, why am I being mean? When people kind of utilize that to support their bad behavior. When they're grouchy and they're snapping at people, well, I'm prepping, I'm on prep. And like, well, okay, well, then just go isolate. Like go take yourself out of the equation so that you're not projecting on people, your feelings.
Man, there's that, and that's one true.
Yes.
100%. Like if you have the bare minimum of awareness that you're being an ass,
right,
then that removes your excuse to be able to be an ass.
Right.
Like we all have our
Like,
ability.
You know better, now do better.
Yeah. Love that. Know better, now do. But like,
right.
It's just, if taking it chiropractic real quick, like I give people a good amount of grace when they first, because they're coming in pain, and odds are they've been in pain for a while.
Right.
But after a while, you can tell people that hold on to it, and that's just from like a healthcare standpoint. But there are people out there all the time that hold on to this, that, or the other, and it is their excuse to be an ass. Like,
100%.
Well, then if you know that X, Y, and Z prepping pisses you off, and you know that you are projecting that out,
right?
Fucking stop. Like,
stop and prepare for that.
Right.
You're prepping, so that should be a part of your prep. If you know that, hey, like come 6 weeks out, I am a lunatic and I hurt relationships and I hurt my family and I'm about to almost lose my job every time and all these things, like that should be a part of your prep.
Right.
Like how am I going to mitigate this particular aspect of my performance prep in my personal life prep. So I think you should prepare for that. Yeah.
That's awesome. So kind of changing gears real quick with the amount of different stuff that you've done, with the insane hobby that you chose to take on, you had to have run across times where people asked you like, why are you doing this? Why, like, tell me about a time when somebody said like, I bet you can't, I bet you won't, like, you're going to fail. Like,
I think that happens so often in life in different ways, in passive aggressive ways, and in ways that come from people who kind of use it as a compliment. I could never, or like things like that. Those little microaggressions where you're like, I think you could, but you're just kind of criticizing me, with this statement. But I think it happens all the time. I think I happen to love that, because I tell my sons, success is like the best revenge. And to be in a place where you continue to succeed and you continue to do better and better and show up, that just irks your enemies.
Yeah.
It just irks them. And I love the fact that, once you start that journey of like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be better than you said I was. I'm going to do all the things that you say I can't. Once you get into it, it's really no longer even about that. It's about you having fun with it and sticking to it, and just being about you versus about how it initially started. And then the reward of that is that you are continuing to improve and be successful in the process. So I just love when people do that. It just motivates me to be like, okay, well, fine. Like, that's you, and I'm going to continue to be awesome. And, you can just be upset about it. And I don't think about you at all. I think that's part of my greatest revenge too, is like, I can genuinely forget you exist. And once I do that, I just think it's funny when you pop back up and you say something, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. You're still mad. Like, oh, okay. I've moved on. I'm doing great things. I'm totally involved in this new thing that I'm doing, and making new relationships and being successful. I completely forgot that you were even there or perturbed. So you're wasting your time. I
was in some rugby situation once, and that came up, and it was said just like you, like I could never do that. And just about playing the sport of rugby, and this guy who's a monster, he just looked over at this person. He's like, "You're right, you couldn't."
You're right.
And just turned away, and I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Right. I mean, you're right. You could never, because you don't have my mindset, and that's okay. Like, there's things that you do that I could never or would never want to do, and that's okay. And I think a lot of that comes from, like, I'll walk into I walked into a restaurant with my children one time, and this lady goes, "Do you see her? Ugh, gross." And then, I'm just like, okay, but look at you. Like, I have no desire to look like you. There's nothing wrong with the way you look. I didn't say anything to you. I didn't even notice you. But I have no desire to look like you. So why did you take time out of your day to look at me in the way that I present myself and just be disgusted by it? Like, but like, what's wrong? Are you okay? You have to poop? Like, what's wrong? Like, I heard a lady say that the other night. I was like, that's genius. That's so funny. Like, are you angry? But I did, I think I've had like things that have happened my whole life, where I've just kind of taken those things and decided that was not how I was going to be defined. One of the things that came to me when I was probably, like 18 or 19 is this lady said to me, you cost more than you're worth.
Ooh.
And she was false. I mean, she was just a mean lady, of course. But in my mind, it just stuck to me. And I was like, wow, like I never want to be like have that said to me again.
Yeah.
And so I've tried to never cost more than I'm worth since that day. So she really helped me. I thank her for that.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think at the time my cost was higher than my worth. I just think it just kind of stuck with me. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I never want to be a person that costs more than I'm worth. And I don't want to make you right.
Man, I wasn't even there. That kind of hurt though.
Doesn't it? It cut
Right?
so deep. It cut me so deep. And I was like,
it's like parents, like, I'm not mad, but I'm disappointed. Like,
yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It was awful. But again, like that's what fuels me is like, you're not gonna be right. Like, I'm not gonna make you right. Like, I'm not gonna have you sit back and be like, yeah, see, I was right. No, you're not. You're wrong.
Shit, that was big. Well, hey, where can people find you? What are the places that you like? Where do you work out?
Yeah, so currently, Always Stroud's my home away from home. Gym, my origin gym. So I'm there. Winston Williams, my original bodybuilding coach, is over there at Max Results in Grapevine. So right now, I'm free to train. I'm free to have coaching sessions with anybody if they want to. So you can just contact me on Instagram at Cuter Than a Cupcake, and we can go from there.
Where'd Cuter Than a Cupcake come from? That's a tongue twister.
Yes, I was in little. I've
You
always been,
was?
I've always
You
been
are.
little.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you said I was
Yeah.
little.
I've always been little. And before bodybuilding, you're so cute. You're so cute. You look like you look like a cupcake. And then back in the '90s, of course, in the Raver days, wore a lot of like, pink and fluff and all the
Oh,
fun
that's
things.
fair.
So people call me Cupcake. And so it just came from there. Cuter than a cupcake.
Fair enough.
Because what's better than a cupcake, right? Me.
Ribs?
Just kidding. Yeah, ribs, yeah. Cuter than some ribs.
Awesome. Giselle, I really appreciate your time. This was fantastic. Guys, as always, I tell you this at the end of every episode, and it's more true now than ever has been before. You will learn more here by accident than elsewhere by design. Thanks. Like, share, follow. Cuter than a cupcake. Giselle Villarreal. We'll catch you guys later.